Hello everyone and welcome back to WolfQuest. And we are here with Otava and her mate Atali, who are down at the Bison Peak Cutoff Den over here. And they're almost ready to set out on the journey. We just have to feed the pups a little bit more, and then they should be good. Did we get names on? No, we didn't. Okay, let's... names. There we go. Now I can see where everybody is. And... wait a second. It's time to feed the pups, right? We haven't started feeding them yet, but I think it is time. I'm pretty sure that's our current mission. So if we check pack stats, yes. Okay, that is the mission we're on. And it probably said that at the beginning and I just wasn't paying enough attention. And so we need to start feeding these guys and make sure they're ready for the journey. Now, Otava is basically her goal here is to get all the pups safely to the rendezvous site. But with that said, we need to be careful because once we get to the river crossing, which will probably be at the beginning of next episode, we have to make sure that we take into account Otava's fear of water. We're going to have to roll each time to see if she panics, and if she panics, she has to turn around and run back. And so that could escalate very, very quickly and could end up being pretty dangerous, so we need to be cautious of that. And pardon me. Sorry about that. My phone went off again. It does that sometimes. But yeah, so we'll be heading back here and feeding the pups again, and basically we're just going to try and see if we can get them out on the journey pretty quickly here. Now, I don't think we're going to do the river crossing this episode. I have a feeling it's going to take us most of our time just to get these guys ready to go, and then we'll save the river crossing for the next episode, but we do need to be cautious of that because otherwise we could have some problems. And so we need to be very, very careful. Now, I think so far so good. Oh, there is a coyote. We'll have to chase that guy off. There's another coyote here too. Oh man, okay. Oh goodness, that makes me nervous. I'm gonna run up and chase this one a little ways. Oh man, please. Okay, the pups are safe. So even if that other coyote does come after them, he won't be able to hurt them until we return and get within range of the den again. But we do need to still be pretty careful because otherwise he could show up without warning and could sneak up on us. Nope, he's still actually down there. And I think before we feed the pups, let's mark some territory as we run through here, because he's going to eat our carcasses. Even though we have a lot, I don't want to take any chances with running out of that. Oh no, he's going to start eating that one. Because the thing is, he won't stop. He'll eat one and then move right on to the next. And it'll just escalate from there. Is he eating? He is. Get out of here. Get out of here. Now, these guys are going to be a lot harder to deal with in the new version. There was actually a video released a little while ago explaining how the coyotes are going to be different. And first of all, they're going to be faster. They're actually going to be faster than you. So it's going to be a lot more work if you do want to kill a coyote. And I have a feeling we're going to have to resort more to chasing them off, or perhaps somehow working with our mate. I don't know if that's in the works or not, but that'd be pretty cool because, you know, if you think about any of the wolf documentaries you might watch, usually when you see them interacting with and or potentially killing coyotes... Is there a moose over here? There is a moose over here again. But usually anytime you'll see a wolf in real life kill a coyote, it's actually a pack of wolves, and they work together to wear the coyote down. So I don't know for sure if that's going to be the case. Oh, there's the moose. Oh my goodness. And there's another coyote. Oh my goodness. There's so many of them. Okay, we have to take this guy out and then we'll go and feed the pups because we need to make sure we get that done. And then we should play with them a little bit too. But I don't know if that is a feature or not. Again, it hasn't been announced, so, but that would be pretty cool if it was. I'm just talking off what I've seen in real life, and it does look like they're attempting to take the realism of the game to the next level. I mean, we've already seen from that one video that the coyotes now, instead of just stealing your food and then running away when you get there, they'll actually be harder to chase off, and they'll tend to stick around And it might even run in, and if they're feeling brave, if there are several of them, they might even run in and, are you kidding me? Get out of here! They might even run in and try to harass you. We gotta get back and feed. I didn't actually see who didn't get the food, but we'll find out when we get there. But yeah, so they'll actually try to run in and nip at you to try and persuade you to leave the carcass, at least according to the video we saw. And so if they're implementing AI of that level, I don't think it would be out of the question to think that maybe we could see a mate having to be involved with chasing them off in the future. But again, I don't know. That's purely speculation. Anything that hasn't been announced is completely and totally unconfirmed. So, but yeah, it'd be really cool to see something like that for certain. But in any case, we definitely know already... Alder, please don't. We definitely already know that the coyotes are going to be getting a lot more difficult to deal with, and we have no idea how that will affect Slough Creek. That could completely and totally change the Slough Creek mission, because coyotes are going to be so much faster that you might not be able to kill them like you can here. You might have to resort to just chasing them off, or like I said, maybe work with your mate in order to tag team them and take them down. It's really going to depend, and I'm very curious to see how it's all going to work, and I know you guys are too. So many of you guys have been telling me over and over in the comments that you're so excited to see WolfQuest 3, and I think we all are at this point, because every time they release more info on it, it looks even more amazing than it already did. And let's be honest, 2.7 is already pretty fantastic. So WolfQuest 3 is, I think, going to take the WolfQuest experience completely over the top and probably make it the best animal simulator out there to date. We already have some pretty advanced ones, and WolfQuest has already been amongst the top, but honestly, from everything we've seen in WolfQuest 3, I think it might push it well above and beyond what anything we've already seen up until this point that I know of. So I'm very excited. They're basically breaking ground in the world of animal simulators, and that's always fantastic to see. And they're doing such a spectacular job with balancing realism and gameplay. Everything is going to be much more realistic, it looks like, because, of course, the original WolfQuest game had so many limitations. Aww. It had so many limitations based off of simply what the computers could handle, but now the computers are getting a lot stronger, a lot able to handle more detail and more complicated AI and such. And with that in mind, it's really opening a door for a whole new set of possibilities in the world of animal simulators and of games in general. Oh, that's the moose making sounds at us. I was like, what is happening? What is that noise? What is growling at us? But it's the moose. That would explain things. Okay. So let's actually run all the way out and see if we can eat from that farther carcass again, because I want to use up this one here as much as we can, and I want to use up that far one as much as we can, because if any of our carcasses end up in druid territory once it expands, it's going to be those two. And so I want those to be as far done as they can be. I want them to be as far gone as we can possibly get them. And that's another thing, too, is we've heard a little bit about how the stranger wolves are going to be reworked, and how now you're going to have territories, and it's not just going to be you wander in, you find a wolf in the social arena, and you fight it. We've heard a little bit more about how you're actually going to have potentially stranger wolves roaming around, and that actually opens up a lot of possibilities, even just for our characters and their personalities to show through, because, okay, it doesn't matter as much here if you have a wolf that hangs around another pack's territory, and that's not going to make that big of a difference. I mean, they can always just flee the social arena. But if you have wolf packs that are actively going to seek out your wolf, that are going to be free roaming and could potentially attack you on their own if you step into their territory, that's going to make it a lot more dangerous if you have a particularly reckless wolf who maybe doesn't care so much about the borders, or if you have a particularly feisty wolf, they could get into a lot more trouble than they could even now. And so it's going to add a whole new layer to everything and make everything so much more interesting. And it'll be very fascinating to see how that all pans out, because really we've only heard about it in context of the territories in Amethyst Mountain. We have no idea how this could impact the Slough Creek mission, and really most of what we've seen has been in regards to Amethyst Mountain, which makes sense because I think they're probably, if they're going to go through the development process, they probably want to focus on the Amethyst Mountain mission first, because that's kind of just the general gameplay, and then Slough Creek, of course, adds the whole new element of having pups and everything, and so it makes sense to work on Amethyst Mountain first and get that all sorted out. And so it'll be really fascinating to see how some of these concepts that we've just heard about a little bit may transfer over into the Slough Creek mission as well, and then into future missions like Towerfall. I mean, that's still out there in the future. Of course, it's probably been pushed back quite a bit because originally it was just planned to be an expansion off of WolfQuest 2.7, and that led to the development of WolfQuest 2.3. But of course, with any of those situations, it's gonna completely change how the whole Towerfall experience, even from the little concepts we'd heard about. Oh my goodness, okay, I need to rest for a minute because Otava's stamina went down there. But we should be able to get this guy here and take him out. And then we gotta play with the pups, and then we'll probably get the chance to start on the journey today. Hopefully we can get at least a little ways through it, if not the whole way, which I don't think we're going to make the whole way, and I think we'll probably stop before the river crossing and face that all at once in the next episode, because that's going to be Otava's make or break moment pretty much. For now, let's just feed the pups and make sure we get them ready for this journey. And they are getting pretty hungry just in general too, and so we gotta be wary of that. It's not too difficult on challenging to keep them all fed, but even so, it's a good idea to keep their health up if at all possible. Do we have... Okay, so it's either Alder or Indigo that's holding it up, so let's feed Alder a little bit more. And there we go. Alright, we're going to stay at the den for a little while longer. I'm going to run off real fast, and we'll get some more food, just to make sure we're perfectly ready to set out on the journey. It's nice to be able to feed the pups freely and not have to worry, like we did with Athena, about feeding the pups and possibly transmitting an illness and any of that. It's nice to be able to feed them, to be able to, whoa, there's the elk herd. It's nice to not have to worry about any of that. I forgot that the elk hunting grounds is over this far. I forgot it didn't stop. And that's another thing that they've announced to be changing too, is the whole way the hunting and the predator and prey spawning will work. It's no longer going to be just these hunting grounds anymore. They showed, that was one of the earliest things they showed actually, was how you'll have several elk herds that will kind of just wander around and will actually be traversing through the areas you might normally see them. So instead of just being restricted to those 3 points, they could probably be found, I mean, if I had to guess, maybe like anywhere in the green area for Slough Creek. And then they showed more of the, they showed their actual plan for the Amethyst Mountain map. But then, again, I'm just speculating with where in Slough Creek, but the concept is there. Basically, anywhere that an elk would consider to be good grazing ground, you'll find them wandering around. And and you'll have specific herds that actually move throughout the game world instead of just being locked to spawning in at certain locations. And that's going to completely change the entire feel of the game and the way everything works. I'm hoping it'll eliminate the need to winter hunt. I certainly hope it will. It may not, we'll have to see, but that's definitely one of the more unrealistic parts of the game currently, and so to get rid of that would be great. But we're going to go ahead and start our journey, because it is about time to get headed out, and I think the sooner we can get up to that sandbar crossing, be ready to go, the better, because we don't want to linger around longer than we have to. So we'll go ahead, we'll start the journey, let's go. I don't actually hear an eagle. Normally we have an eagle, but let's zoom way out so that we can actually see what's going on, and then these guys should follow us. In fact, I'm going to get them a little ways away from the den, because if an eagle shows up, we don't want them to be too close. But if we can raise the pack affinity a little bit, that would be very good, because that'll help us out along the way here. If the pups will have their affinity high and staying nice and close to us. Let's just get that set. And there we go. Almost. Just a few more times, probably. Come on. There we go. Almost. Almost there? Almost there. Are we there? We're there. Okay. So now it doesn't matter if the territory is, it doesn't matter if the territory decays or not. That will not, it no longer matters because we're not going to be living here anymore. Let's just head down these slopes and see, and hopefully we can get all of these guys safely to the rendezvous site. Because if we can do that, if we can get them across that treacherous river crossing that Otava had such a bad experience with when she was a pup, then we should be through the hardest part of the journey. But we won't get to find out how that goes until next time. We're just gonna get up to the crossing today. Okay, come on, you guys, stay close. Nobody's getting too hungry yet. We'll get down. Oh no, okay, we need to feed now. I was gonna say we can probably get down there, but I'm not so sure we actually can. I think it's gonna be a lot better if we feed everyone right here. What? Oh my goodness. Atali, please don't do that. I just heard his paw steps, and then he just came shooting out of the edge of the screen. Thankfully, he doesn't have like that lighter brown color that can look like a coyote at a glance. It's pretty easy to tell he's a wolf. But yeah. Oh my goodness. That scared me. That scared me pretty bad. Okay, so our first carcasses are over this way. Let's make sure we angle in that direction. And I guess we'll kind of make a curve across the plains. I hear a carcass right over here. Alright, so far so good. It should just be right back this way. What? Why do I hear carcass sounds? There's not a carcass here. Okay. Fine. Maybe there was a carcass and it just hasn't, the fly sounds haven't quite stopped yet. Oh, and Atali has Alder. That's good. Alder seems to be our wanderer so far. So probably smart of Atali to bring Alder over first. And let's see. This is an actual carcass, I'm pretty sure. Yep, we've got one right there, but the ravens have been eating it quite a bit, and I bet Atali has been eating from it too. Yeah, because we definitely have some that are a little bit more full here. All right, how are the pups doing? Okay, there's Lokir. Anybody need a bit of extra food? Let's go ahead and make sure we feed some of them up just a little bit more, so that nobody's super hungry when we set out, and we have a little bit longer before we'd have to actually feed them. Okay. Oh. Can I get through to feed Alder? There we go. Sorry, Atali. You were a little bit in the way there. And hopefully it'll be a little bit easier to maneuver too, because this game, pardon me. Sorry about that, you guys. The phone went off again. We get a lot of junk calls, unfortunately. I wish people wouldn't do that. But yeah, so that's one of the things that I'm not so fond about the current game, or the current version of the WolfQuest game, is that it can be a little bit difficult to maneuver sometimes. The controls can be a little unwieldy. I don't know if that's just because I need to tweak my settings. Maybe I should look at upping the sensitivity at some point. But I think it sounds like they're going to be overhauling quite a bit of that, so I wouldn't be surprised if the general controls got a huge overhaul as well. Like, I mean, if you think about the controls of Shelter 2 versus the controls of WolfQuest, you can definitely see that the WolfQuest ones are a little bit more rigid, and I mean, they were developed back in 2007, so it's not a surprise, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing those being overhauled as well, because while they're pretty good, they can be a little bit difficult to work with at sometimes, and hopefully the new version will be a little bit more accommodating and a little bit easier to use than the current one is. It's not generally a huge issue, but sometimes it can be tough to make those sharp turns, or to maneuver around in tight proximity when you might need to face a predator or whatnot. And that's the thing too, is when you think about facing predators here on the journey, that's one of the scariest parts of it all, because the mate tends to bring pups to you, and so you really can't maneuver around the predator at all. And so when you're facing something like a cougar or a bear, then that could be extremely dangerous and extremely difficult. And we've lost the 2 wolves who we've had so far who have actually had their story ended. Well, I shouldn't say quite. So 2 of the 3 incidences we've had where a wolf's story was almost cut short have been as a result of a predator attacking us on the journey, and we weren't quite able to get around it in the ways we were hoping, and we got too close, and it ended up attacking us and hurting our wolf severely. And so, if, like, what it sounds like the new version will be is, there's, hopefully with the new version, there will be less problems relating to the controls, less chance of being severely injured or even killed due to not being able to maneuver, and a more chance of your own actions actually being the cause of your wolf potentially dying. And that's what I like to see in any game. If something bad happens, I want it to be a direct result of my mistakes rather than a more random accident. The randomness, some level of it is good, but too much can be frustrating. And while WolfQuest generally doesn't cross the line of being too random, sometimes those incidences can be a little bit more difficult to work with, and they can be a little bit more aggravating than if all of our problems, all of the times that we've had wolves that have almost died, have come directly because of our own actions. And I think that's why we've been a little bit lenient with allowing some of the wolves to survive more. Oh no, I didn't actually want to pick you up right now, sorry. But yeah, I think that's why I think we've tended to be a little bit more lenient with punishing the wolf within their story rather than just saying, okay, they're completely gone now. In instances where that's been the case, we have been a little bit more lenient. And that's something that I think will hopefully change in the next version. I hope that'll be a little bit more... I hope it'll be a little bit more directly correlated to your own acts, or to your own actions, rather than a consequence of the gameplay. I like it when a game directly, like where you can prevent stuff in most cases, but of course there's always going to be the margin of human error, and that kind of adds a little bit more weight to your own choices. Whereas if something happens no matter what you do, then it just gets frustrating. So I hope we will see more of that dynamic coming into play within the next version of WolfQuest. Well, we're almost to the river here too, and I kind of have spent the whole time talking about WolfQuest 3. Are those elk actually in the Druid territory? It looks like it. They better watch out. The whole pack is over there, and they're a lot bigger and more dangerous than us right now. I mean, our pack is still mostly comprised of pups, so those elk had better watch out. I don't know. I don't know. Let's head this way, and we'll see if we can make it to the river here. I think we should be able to do that pretty soon, and then we'll actually go ahead and end off this episode because it is about time. And next time we'll take on the dangerous river crossing and the rest of the journey. And hopefully Otava will be alright, because she does get pretty skittish around the river, and specifically this part of the river, because this is actually where she almost died as a pup. So I should have gotten food. Maybe I'll dart over here to this carcass real fast, and just finish filling up my pup food bar real quickly. Hopefully we don't have Atali. Atali has not brought a pup over here, and we can just quickly get back to them. Alright, there we go. So let's get these guys up to the edge of the river so we can end off the episode. We're just a little ways away, and so far so good. Everything is going smoothly up until this point. Alright. Here we go. And I think we'll go ahead and end off this episode here for today. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. But until then, this is Jay. Over and out.